I learned that from Molly Burke, which, by the way, if you don't know who Molly Burke is, how the heck are you watching my video on YouTube and you don't know who she is? Like, what? Like, huh? She has millions of subs. Like, millions. I have 100. Get your priorities in order.
Well, that was unexpected. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Carson and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be reacting to part 3 of DEMI Lovato's Dancing with the Devil docu-series. You guys really wanted me to react to the 3rd and 4th part, so I will be doing that. Now, normally I upload on Thursdays, but because I had a special video project that had to come out this Thursday, this video is a little late. My apologies. If you have not heard my brand new song Sober, it is exclusively on YouTube. Go check it out wherever the little eye icon is. I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. There's been an overwhelmingly positive response to parts 1 and 2, and I really appreciate that, considering it was like a really spur of the moment decision to film those videos. I decided it like an hour before I did it, so yeah, I really do appreciate the love and support. And as I mentioned, I'm discussing my addiction a lot right now, but that's not all I talk about. But I'm so happy that you guys have found some strength and some knowledge in my experience. Be mindful, my experience is my experience. I can't speak for any other addict or any other alcoholic. Yeah, I forgot to mention that in the first 2 videos, so I really wanted to say it here. I'm really excited. This next part is called Reclaiming Power, and I'm really excited to see what that means for her personally. But before we do any of that, let's do our Duck of the Day shout out. This week's Duck of the Day goes to Kayla from Kayla's Words. You might also recognize her from We Share Poetry on Instagram. And she wrote a piece using my prompt mask from a few months back. If you want to take part in these prompts and be featured in one of my YouTube videos, all you have to do is write a poetry piece or a prose piece, use the hashtag Carson's Creatives, and tag me at Carson Bohdi. You can post it on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. I have all 3 of those social media sites, all Carson Bohdi, so you can check me out there. You should do it because it's fun being a duck and it's fun being creative. Hence, Carson's Creatives. Anyway, back to Kayla. Kayla is someone who I've met early on in 2020, and she is incredibly talented. I love her aesthetic. I love everything about her. She's awesome. Her sister is also incredible. Shout out to Lena. And yeah, I really want to share this piece because it's just so beautiful. So let's read it. Lustrous masks in alluring shapes, covering our truths to escape our escapes. Don't get too close. There are lies I don't want you to expose. As colors of splendor blinds the eye, I wonder if it's the people or the masks. Which one is the real lie? Which one is true? Which one is made? Let the delusion fade. Life was never intended to be a masquerade. I love this piece. I love the questions that she asks within this piece. I love the idea that we are trying to escape our escapes. I think that's very on brand for what we're talking about with addiction. She writes some incredible pieces. Some of them are very dark, some of them are very bright, and this one I feel is very inquisitive, and it's a really good example of her writing style. And if you guys like her writing style, I highly suggest you go follow her accounts. I'm going to have them linked in the description bar down below. Now, for those of you who do not know who I am and you're just clicking on this video because the title was enticing to you, hi, my name is Carson Bohdi, my pronouns are she, her, and I am a poet, songwriter, mental health advocate, and awkward duck. And if any of that interests you, give this video a thumbs up, comment below which song on Demi's new album you are most excited to hear, and subscribe. Also, hit that post notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. Now let's get into this reaction. By the way, I also decided to do a different layout to be more relaxed, more peaceful, because I don't know, I feel like we all need it. I also have a stuffed animal. His name is Ned, and he is my new son. I got him the other day. And yes, I do have stuffed animals, and yes, I am almost in my mid-20s, and I don't care what you think about it. They are incredible creatures, and they deserve all the love in the world, and they make me feel safe. So, all right. Anyway, let's just get into the reaction.
The news. There was all this stuff about like me being in photos next to her when she was having a hard time. I got like death threats. People showed up at my apartment.
I remember that.
In my life.
That was really challenging for her. It was challenging for anybody that stuck by my side through that period.
Oh, we're seeing like, oh, this is like,
You look so my little naked
oh, Danny.
baby.
Danny really got the shit end of the stick. A lot of people were very angry with her. And after like the first two parts, I realized just how bad it must have been for her. I'm so sorry to Danny. I didn't say anything mean to her, but I want to apologize on behalf of those who said mean stuff and didn't end up watching this documentary because she didn't deserve that. At the end of the day, Demi relapsing on drugs had nothing to do with the people around her. She chooses who she has around her. And she even admits that she was manipulating a lot of people. You'd be surprised how good addicts are at lying. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I was bad at lying to those I didn't care to hide from. There were people who I didn't care knew, and there were people who I really gave a crap if they knew. And it was all based upon how they treated me and how, I guess not how, more like what they can offer me. And that's pretty shitty to admit. I know, but yeah.
You deserve that.
Thanks. Thank you. I love you. And the only reason why I'm not crying is because if I start, I won't. I'm trying really
You
hard.
already have your makeup on.
They're so cute. Is it bad that I low-key ship them?
Screenshots from her fans just telling me to die and kill myself. And I would say like maybe
If you did not watch part 2 of my reaction to this series, watch that. Only if you feel comfortable, because I do discuss this more so there, but I'll briefly touch on it again. Don't tell people to kill themselves. You never know what someone's going through. You never know the full extent of someone's experience. And even if they overshare and tell you a lot, like admittedly I've done, you still don't know what they're going through. And that could set them off to actually do it. And imagine if Danny had done it. Would you want to live with that guilt for the rest of your life? I don't think so. So just don't do that to people. Even if they've done the most despicable shit, don't do it. Be better than that.
My fans are amazing. They're very passionate, but they're a little out of line sometimes because they want what's best for me, but don't always have all the information.
Facts.
my whole life.
Danny.
When everything started to unfold, I was in the hospital with her, watching, just looking at her laying there. I just wanted her to live. And I remember one night my mother sat me down and screamed at me, and she said, I cannot watch my little girl take the fall for someone that did something like this. And I just remember looking at her just like, it's gonna be fine, and then it wasn't. I lost all my teaching jobs. No one wanted to bring their kid to a apparent heroin dealer teacher. I lost any artist that I was working with. They didn't want to deal with the drama and would go to studios. I would have like TMZ following me to the studio. I had to rethink my whole future. All because of someone else's decision.
It shows true character that she's still in Demi's life after that. I think she's aware of the fact that it was her fans and not Demi, but someone who is extremely emotionally immature who would experience this would probably blame Demi and be like, your decision led to my life being ruined. But at the end of the day, Demi's decision was Demi's decision, and Danny got backlash because Demi's famous. And she is seemingly aware of that, and I respect her for that, because that's not easy. I don't know if I could do it. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know if I could.
I just got a pep talk from like my mom.
Oh, I wonder what the title card's gonna be this time. I'm really excited. Oh! But I was lying.
She said, I love music, I want to get back into it, but I want new management.
I got reached out to by her business manager after the overdose.
Oh.
She told me she was the only person she wanted to meet with was us. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, with everything she...
Scooter Braun, man. There is just so much to dive into there. I just hope he doesn't pull the same crap he pulled with Taylor Swift. Personally, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I like some of her music, but like, in general, things she's done in the past and present, and there's just something that's always felt off about her to me. That's just my personal opinion. You are entitled to your own. But what Scooter did was not right. Taylor was taken advantage of in that regard, and I just hope that he's not gonna try that shit with Demi, because he will get called out for it. If anyone's gonna call him out, it's Demi Lovato. So I hope for his sake that he doesn't try that, but you never know. Time will tell.
By her face that she was never going to be around those people again.
I wish I could say the last night that I ever touched heroin was the night of my overdose, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She called and said, hey, I've relapsed and I need help.
It was the same guy, I think, and Syra and I were not thrilled about that.
Her decision to meet with that dude again, when people are in the throes of addiction, nothing shocks me.
I had just done
Yep.
a week-long intensive trauma retreat. The night that I came back from that retreat, I called him. I wanted to rewrite his choice of violating me. I wanted it now to be my choice. And he also had something that I wanted, which were drugs. And I ended up getting high. I thought, how did I pick up the same drugs that put me in the hospital? I was like mortified at my decisions.
Anytime.
A lot of people who aren't addicts would never understand what she just said. When something nearly kills you and you pick it up again, and the shame you feel behind that is so real. I remember the first time I drank after I moved out of a house that I was staying in. And it was a few months later. I had just gotten into DBT therapy, and it was going to start in January, and it was New Year's. I stayed sober for that night, and then New Year's Day I drank. Just kind of like to have my last hurrah, and I just remember feeling so guilty about it at the time. Like really, really guilty. Like you the last time you had a drink, you had shakes, you were thin to the bone, you were drained of life. You were walking to death's door, and now you pick up the substance that was gonna head you down that path. It's a shame that you feel towards yourself. It's a shame that you feel towards everything you've ever done. And I've seen people say that, like, because she went back to that person and reclaimed control of the situation, that she deserved the assault, or that it didn't count as assault. And all I have to say to that is, you can give consent, take consent back, You can give consent back again. You can do whatever you want with your own body, with whoever you want. And even if it is with the same person who assaulted you. But it does not disqualify the time that you did not consent and something happened anyway. I'm only 9 minutes and 37 seconds into this. Jesus Christ. Oh, there's so much to say. Just because she allowed him back into her house and allowed something to happen after she went to that retreat does not disqualify the time she did not consent, or could not consent, I should say. And even in that situation where she said she was trying to reclaim power, she didn't actually reclaim power because she was still on a substance, which means that her consent is null and void. It doesn't make any sense to someone who has not been traumatized in that way. I'm very lucky to say that I haven't, but I know many people who have. And this falls right in line with what I've personally seen.
No, I'm gonna you. And
I know that sexual trauma has been the hardest part for you to talk about. Was there a specific reason that you didn't come forward sooner?
Honestly, ever since I watched Rihanna and her pictures get leaked after the Chris Brown incident, I was very uncomfortable with even more of my story playing out in the press, and then also people maybe not believing me.
You know, it's easy from the outside to say, how could someone like Demi Lovato not have a sense of agency, right? Having grown up and started at such a young age, where she wasn't able to develop that sense of agency. You know, the more that people try to control her behavior, the more it's like, well, where do I have a sense of control? Where can I make choices?
That's exactly why I relapsed at the start of this pandemic. I lost control of where I could be and where I could have my physical person. It was always when I lost control, when I would crave to have more control. Always. It was always about control, having control of myself. But I found an outlet that I had no control with either. So ultimately, it's just like your life is chaos in every facet. It's just, man, this is hitting a little too close to home. I'm gonna sing so I don't cry. I sound better than that usually. Sorry about that.
And I know what I'm about to say is going to shock people too, but when I was a teenager, I was in a very similar situation. I lost my virginity in a rape. I called that person back a month later and tried to make it right by being in control, and all it did was just make me feel worse.
So you filmed the first Camp Rock 2 years ago.
Yes.
Now you're filming this one. What do you think has been the biggest change in you from 2 years ago?
I've become more aware of just life and people and the way that, you know, the business works. And it's definitely for the better. I think that I'm able to protect myself a little more, but also I'm able to still learn more and teach other people. So it's been awesome.
I still went in the room with him. I still hooked up with him. Here was the thing, I was a part of that Disney crowd that publicly said they were waiting till marriage. I didn't have the romantic, like, first time with anybody. That was not it for me, and that sucked. And then I had to see this person all the time.
Hooking up can mean so many different things to different people, and it doesn't matter how far you go with someone. When you say no, no means no. I want you to understand that. And if any of you are watching this and have never experienced any sexual situation before you go into it, know how to communicate. Know how to say yes and no. And this goes for guys and for girls. I don't separate that shit at all. We need to have more of a discussion about consent and communication. It is so important.
The Christian Southern girl inside of me didn't see it that way because sex was not normalized.
And that's why it should be normalized everywhere because we all do it. All of us. Everyone. We can't just say abstinence only. That is setting so many people up for a disaster. My education about how it was going to go down was I'm going to have a lot of pain. That was what I knew. It was going to be painful. That's not a good thing to teach women. It's not a good thing at all. If you're watching this and you're in high school, I'm going to tell you this. You know what's not going to matter in 10 years? What y equals mx plus b actually means. What is going to matter in 10 years is how to say no in a sexual situation, how to go about getting birth control, how to do your taxes. These are things that are not taught in school, and they need to be taught in school because these are things that actually impact an adult person's life. Not what Christopher Columbus did in 1860 whatever. Like, it's just... The education system is extremely flawed. Extremely flawed.
As a child or in the South. And you know what? F it. I'm just gonna say it. My Me Too story is me telling somebody that someone did this to me and they never got in trouble for it. They never got taken out of the movie they were in. But I've just kept it quiet because I've always had something to say, and it's like, I don't know, I'm tired of opening my mouth, so there's the tea.
Here to support you, and I want to help you through this, not punish you.
And it's a very different conversation, right? Than the conversation that says, hey, your sober companion just told me that you were in the bathroom for a long time. I'm going to drug test you, and when it comes back positive, I'm going to take away your phone and make you go back to residential and make all these choices for you.
I never want to say that the control placed on me was entirely wrong. Some of it came from a place of love. I just think that by the end of it, I didn't get the help that I needed.
Takes a lot to have that mature of a response to that. I know that personally. It's very hard to have that kind of awareness, to not point the finger, but to also acknowledge people's role. It's very difficult to do. It's something I still struggle with. It took me 2 years to realize that I wasn't a victim, but I also wasn't the villain that people were making me out to be. And that for some of those people, my addiction had nothing to do with the reason they walked out of my life. They walked out of my life because they didn't like the fact that I was setting my boundaries and standing up for myself. And that was really hard to accept. But it brings me so much peace knowing that now. And I'm not mad about it. I never was. I was always mad at myself. Always. Even if it looked like I was mad at other people, I was truly just mad at myself.
Ever think about giving up on her?
No. That's never crossed my mind.
I couldn't. And no. Not once.
Do I ever want to give up on her? No. Did I want to bash her head in with the brick? Yes.
Demi is an honest songwriter. A lot of people are nervous about telling everything. Demi thrives on using her music in a cathartic way.
I feel like with anyone, I knew that was the song that I wanted to release coming out of all of this, because I thought if I ever make it back to the stage, I want to sing this song.
Oh man, this Grammy performance killed me, man. This Grammy's oh my god. This killed me. They're gonna show the part where she flubbed? Yep. Yeah, when I watched this live, I cried.
watching her perform anyone at the Grammys after like dying, I was like, go off, bitch. This is such a big moment for all of us.
When I listen to the lyrics,
just to be there and hear her voice is moving in itself. Because there was a point where I didn't know if I would ever see that ever again.
Oh my god. Do you have chills? Okay, so it's not just me? Cool, alright, cool. Ned says he has chills too. That's how talented she is.
There's just like Grammys, like, bam, one of the best performances of the Grammys of all time.
Literally.
She's crying at the beginning, she's got to start over, standing ovation, we're losing our minds. No, she's not done yet. National anthem, one of the best ever, losing her mind. Drop dead, gorgeous, perfect new single, album's coming out. And then it was all downhill from
COVID!
quarantine happened. She said, Mom, I'm bringing stuff and I'm gonna come over and quarantine with you. But I did meet this guy, and so, okay, we're gonna be quarantining with my daughter's boyfriend. I'd never even met him. Oh my God, I just invited somebody that I don't really know that well to stay with my family. Wasn't the most responsible thing I've ever done.
Of course we gotta end it on that teaser. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I don't have much else to say other than that. God damn it. Alright, so that was my reaction to Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil episode 3. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you want me to react to after this docu-series is finished. I may or may not react to it. It honestly depends on if I've already seen it or if I don't want to react to it, to be honest with you. I do plan on reacting to her new album in its entirety, so I'm really excited for that. If you've not done so yet, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe. Also, hit that post notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. Links to my social media are also in the description bar down below. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, follow me there. And with that, I'm going to go make some dinner now. I'll see you next time. Bye!